So today in class we were introduced to this concept of layers and the layers panel. The layers panel is going to allow us to keep all the elements in our design super organized, allow us to hide, lock, show, and create new layers in order to organize our work. So let's start off with how to access our layers panel. To do so, we know that all of our panels are under window. Now by default, it should be here. Usually it's properties, libraries, layers, but if yours is missing, you can go find it here under windows. I'm going to pull up layers here. We can see that it has a whole panel. A few things to note: the little eye here lets you either hide or show a layer. The little space in between allows you to lock or unlock a layer. And the little circle here is called a target. It lets you to select everything in a layer, including something called the sublayer. A sublayer, if I open this here, this little arrow, is all the pieces that make up a layer. So if a layer has more than one piece, they are made up of sublayers. Now on the bottom of this panel, there's a lot of buttons. The most important ones we're going to learn is to create a new sublayer, create a new layer, and delete a layer, which will be important. Okay? Now for your check for understanding, we're going to practice utilizing these panels to just organize ourselves. We're going to start off by opening the layer that says check for understanding. If you find it kind of annoying to have your layers panel here, you can pull it by clicking and dragging on the layers word, and that way you can pull the panel out. I mean, it's your personal preference. I personally like the panel to be out. Now the layer check for understanding says to open up the layer named check for understanding. So to do that, we're just going to click on the little white arrow located next to the check for understanding, and it says to drag the sun sublayer above the sky sublayer. So this is very similar to when we go to object, arrange, bring to front. This is basically what we're doing, but today we're going to do this manually. So to do that, we're going to click on the layer named sun, and I'm just going to click and pull, and I won't release until I see this little blue line pop up. That's going to show me where I'm letting go. And now the sun should be on top of the sky. The second part of check for understanding just has you rename something. And it's important to name your layers because layer 1 doesn't really mean anything, but if you name it, you kind of know what's in it. So to rename a layer, there's two ways. You can double click on the layer and get this box that pops up, or you can double click on the actual letters, and it lets you change the layer name right then and there. So you're going to change this to elements 1. When you're done, I like to close my layer after, and I like to lock layers so I don't accidentally move things over. It's a good habit. For the main two parts of today, you're going to be working with this layers panel to find things, organize them. So what I want you to do is read through these instructions really clearly. So for example, for part 2, it says to open up the layer, to find a purple ball that's hidden somewhere. So I'm going to make my panel a little longer by putting my mouse at the end, find a purple ball, drag it up just like we did before so that it's visible and not hidden behind the house. There's also some sections of leftover things that are unimportant that you should find and erase. And you have options. For example, bowl option 1, if I hide where the little eye is and click bowl option 2, I get a totally different bowl. I also have different dog names. If I click this little drop down, I can have Rover or Karma as my dog name. Okay? Just to hide one to see the other is a really good habit and allows for some options. When you're done with part 2, you're going to spend the majority of today in this section, really fixing this file. So the instructions here tell you how the file is a mess, obviously, and you're going to find some missing layers that aren't hidden, aren't shown, the visibility, and fix that and reorder them. And the last thing, you're just going to name the groups. You don't have to name tree 1, tree 2, tree 3, right? But if I hit this little eye, I'm like, oh, that's the school. Let me double click this and name it school. That's why I know that group is all of the school elements. Once you're done naming and arranging them, this image on the right should look identical to the image on the left.